Well, good morning. It's a lovely morning. It's bluebells everywhere on the woodland floor today, and they do look beautiful. Anyway, going to be making tent pegs and going to be making them out of a selection of woods, but probably mainly ash. And these are for hedge-laying Phil's tent. He's bought a lovely large tent and he needs some more wooden pegs. Now, special thing you have to watch for when you make tent pegs, and that's the shaping of the head. And I'll show you in a little bit more detail when we come to it. But if you don't get that bit right, the peg will split. So make sure we work well on that part. Be using a selection of tools. So probably try using my large stock knife, my paroir knife, as I've got it, and it's jolly good fun using it. May also try using the draw knife and perhaps an axe. Try different methods. And tent pegs, I mean, they're actually quite an interesting history when you look at it. As late as the Falklands War, 40,000 tent pegs were supplied, which is amazing. I can remember as a child, I have a memory of about 1962 of having a tent, an old army tent, when my parents went camping, and we had the old tent pegs. I can remember hammering them in and getting them out, and that was great fun. So there you are. And there's also the sport of tent pegging. And that actually requires a horse, so I don't think we'll be doing it today. We could commandeer the donkey, but yep, we need a horse, and you have a lance, and it goes back to army days. You charge the tent peg in the ground and try and pick it out. And the origins of that are possibly disabling, and this is rather cruel and nasty, disabling enemy elephants, aiming for the toenails of your lance, and that would disable the army. Or possibly knocking out the tent pegs of your opposing army's tents and then going along and slaughtering all the people as the tents cave in. So, all a bit gruesome. But no, not doing that today. Anyway, we'll get going and see what we can do. Well, here's Mark 1, first attempt, and there's some good things and bad things about this one basically. It could probably be a little bit shorter there. The very important thing is that when you're hitting on the top here, that the grain line doesn't go into the eye, because otherwise that would just snap off. So that's number one, and that's fine. That one, if you follow the grain down, that won't come off. That beak won't come off. Got a little bit of uplift there, which is what you want. The back, you actually want to keep as smooth and straight as you can. I've done probably a tad more rounding than I should on the back. Because you want it, if you think about it, if it's pulling on the earth, you want it as a flat pull on the earth, not cutting through the earth like a knife. I should probably clean up this point a little bit because it's a bit sharp. You want it sharp enough to go in the earth, but blunt enough to knock past stones. So I'll have another refinement there. And then the other thing, I should probably slim it off a little bit more down here. So it sort of glides into the earth a bit more easily and it comes out more easily. but it's sort of there. That would be a functional peg for Mark 1. I'll do a little bit of cleaning up and then I'll have another go at a Mark 2 and a Mark 3. Right, so yeah, that's Mark 3. So again, not too sharp, but sharp enough to dig in. Nice and flat on the back, although I think I've rounded that a bit more than is ideal. Slimmer at the front, no grain run out over the hook, and a good striking surface. So here's the shavehorse version, and actually a shavehorse, you haven't got the same power behind the drawknife, which slows you a bit, but you do get a more controlled and better finish, I think, overall. It's certainly quicker for someone who's not done many like myself. So again, straight spine, flat spine at the back, rounded over top. I might round that a little bit more in a minute actually. Key thing is, again, the top, if you follow the grain down, it's behind the beak of the peg, so as you hit that, the beak's not going to fall off. What you can do on the shavehorse rather nicely is you can round off inside the beak so the rope doesn't chaff, and that's quite a nice little detail. It's also easier to slim off the cheeks, so you get these a bit more smoother and going in more, so that the peg will penetrate the ground a bit more happily, and you get a bit more control on doing your end point, so it's not too sharp to pierce the canvas bag, but sharp enough to go through the ground and avoid stones. And again, just rounding off the backs of the edges here to make it a bit more comfortable if you pull it out the kit bag. So yeah, I quite like the shavehorse actually. I think it's probably, all in all, it's probably easier if you're not making many. I think if you're doing a volume production, then using some form of stock knife probably would be advantageous. But there you are, one more tent peg. I think Phil has now got his 32 pegs, so he's done quite well. He's made a lot, which is great, and he's done a lovely job on them. I hope you enjoyed seeing how we make the tent pegs, and all in all, actually good fun and quite pleased with the results. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.